What's up, everybody? Hey, hey, hey. We've got Perez, Jalen, and Tim John in here. Welcome to you three. How are you? We got Joseph popping in here, looks like, too. Good, good. I got some friends to role play with. Nice. Looking forward to role playing today. I look forward to role play day. Do you guys look forward to role play day? I know you do. I know you do. How's things going, Perez? You working out your Bluetooth?
Yeah, you can hear me.
No, 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 no. It sounds great, man. Nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I'm doing all right. You doing all right there, Mark?
yeah, doing good, man. Doing
Yes,
good. Good to see you.
yes,
Good to
sir.
see you. Yeah, you got a good headset, man. For out running around, and it sounds really good.
Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't connect at first. I had to get it to connect. So,
What's the brand name? Do you have a brand name on your headset?
it's Blue Parrot.
Oh,
Blue
okay.
Parrot.
Okay. All right. So it's got good noise reduction.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really blocks out all the background noise really 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 well. I'm always interested in that because I like to go places and then make videos where it's real loud. Uh, sometimes I like
Yeah, I
to,
gotta get in. I'm trying to get into making.
yeah, that's a good headset for it, man. I bought a nice Bose headset, man, and the microphone on it sucks. You wouldn't even think that, a nice expensive Bose headset. Now it's really good on the sound. Sound quality is great, but the microphone's quality sucks. So I'm always
Yeah,
curious
they
in.
got good sound. I don't think it.
Oh yeah, really good sound. Really good. Yeah, look, the bass is great. It's good to see Joseph here. Todd just popped in. Excuse me. We're just killing some time here just for a few minutes, just chit chatting, kind of waiting on everybody to arrive, because everybody has to type in the domain name to get in here and click the button and all that, turn the camera on. And, maybe they had to change their shirt or refill their coffee or something. What's going on, Ty?
Doing good.
Good to see you.
It's happening. Yep.
Nada, nada. Yeah, it's good to see you. Everybody's so talkative today.
Yeah, haircut. Yeah.
Hey, you're looking good.
No more curls.
Real nice. Yeah. It gets curly when it gets a little long.
A little
Mine,
wavy. Yeah.
yeah, mine does that too. Yeah. That's the thing. You can't you get them little curls, they like to pop out. You get like fly away like little wings, you gotta get those
Yeah.
chopped off. Yeah.
Right.
Now a man that struggles not with these issues is Joseph here. He, his
Oh.
his long glorious locks, they don't seem to ever curl, but they gently wave. Look at your hair. What's the secret, Joseph? What's the secret? I bet you go through conditioner like crazy.
Not at all.
What do you
Not
got?
at
Some
all.
do you have a hair treatment? Do you have a hair oil or something you
No,
recommend?
no, don't be jealous. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just gray.
Yeah. Just
But
go.
I am gray since 18, so and I'm
Really?
25 now, so it's few years. Yeah.
Right. That's cool. You was an early changer, huh?
Yeah, yeah, like leaves.
Yeah. I've got a cousin that was like that. It's interesting. I don't know what causes that, but I think it's beautiful, man. I love the white hair coming in on my head. I think it's going to probably eventually all turn white too. Ty, you're just about there.
Yeah,
Perez is hiding it, but he might be getting close. I don't know.
yeah, I got it. I'm gonna have a head full. I got a little spot on top.
Yeah, that's, Tim John, I don't know about him or Jalen. Jalen now from his picture down there, he looks like he's sporting a nicely dark colored hair there. So no gray. I don't see any. You know what though? We should probably just go ahead and launch right into doing some role play. It's good to see you guys. Glad you're here. Thanks for role playing with me today. Is there anything you guys want to role play in particular? Is there anything you want to role play? Because I'd like to just role play what you guys want to role play. You know, what are you guys thinking? You got any struggle spots? What's been happening to you? I'm confident you've probably been talking to homeowners and running into, if you're like me, you've been running into homeowners where you have to have a plan to negotiate down payment because it's way crazy high. I also think you're probably going to have a plan to counteract the if you're in the real estate business. You're probably also going to have a plan to counteract the I'm crazy high on purchase price still problem, because there's a lot of those. In other words, the house is worth 350. It's a pretty house, but the guy's wanting 425. Okay. And you're like, hey, you're not even sure this house would appraise. Hey, would somebody tell me why that's a problem? Why is that a problem in a lease purchase to be way, way crazy too high, especially in like a 12-month lease? Is it a problem?
Tenant buyer cannot buy it because it could not be appraised at this price.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of gave it away a little bit there. Yeah. That tenant buyer is going to go to the bank and he's going to borrow money from somebody, some mortgage company, and they're going to want to know, is this house really worth what you guys are trying to buy it for? We're going to send an appraiser out. That's just standard protocol. That happens every single time anybody borrows money on a house, right? So they're sending somebody out and they're going to find out, well, it's only worth 350, not 425. So we're only going to loan money on 350, not 425. So you guys are, I guess, SOL and on that. And so something will have to happen. I've got a strategy, a technique that I use to try to circumvent this problem. All right. You guys want to hear what it is today?
Yes.
And I've got a few others that I use too, but I won't go in detail on those today. But I do want to role play at least those two sections. There's a down payment problem there I mentioned, because homeowners nowadays, if you're in the real estate business, they all want some kind of down payment. Like they want skin in the game, whatever. They really, and some of them are going for it with gusto. You know what I mean? Like they really believe like they gonna get 50% down. Like I've really heard that. Is anybody else in the room heard 50% down recently? Like I'll do this. I would do it with 50% down. Like that doesn't like where do you
Yeah, like $200,000. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I'm like, what? Are we even talking about the same house? What's happening? Something's wrong with this seller because you want 50% down. That's only like $200,000-$300,000, right, Ty? Yeah, exactly. It's only $200,000-$300,000 down. That should be no problem. We'll be able to do that and then close in just no time. I don't know. No. You got the wrong, Mr. Homeowner. You misunderstand. That's not what we're talking about. You've got to have some kind of plan for this homeowner because not that homeowner, probably fire him. Maybe not even call that homeowner. If you cannot call that homeowner, don't call him. But definitely you'll want to have a plan for the ones that are maybe a little too high. Let's say a guy is saying 20,000. Well, we hear that a lot too, don't we? What if it's a $350,000 house and he only wants 20,000 down? Well, that's still quite a bit. Isn't it? How much do you think if you're going to assign this deal, if you're going to wholesale lease option this deal, you're going to assign it to somebody? What kind of profits are you going to make if you've got to give a $350,000 house? If you've got to give the homeowner 20,000 down, how much are you going to get to keep?
Right.
You know, see, because you know your profit base is coming out of how much money you can collect from that tenant buyer, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So if you don't, that's okay. I can hook you up with some theory videos, and you can kind of watch me go over the math of lease purchases. I would be happy to do that with anybody. There's actually a playlist on YouTube on my channel where I do just that. It's called the Lease Option Theory. And so, but yeah, if you're giving 20 grand to a guy, I mean, you're not gonna make any money, are you really? I mean, what if you really got a good tenant buyer that had 25 grand? You're like, I made 5K. I'm gonna give 20,000 to this homeowner. You know, that $20,000 check to that homeowner is gonna be one of the most painfully blissful experiences of your life.
Yeah.
Because you're making 5K, but you're also giving 20 to the homeowner. Okay. So you got to have a plan. In other words, I don't want to beat it to death, but you got to have a plan to get that down payment down. So let's ask this question real quick about down payment before we get into that. I want to talk about down payment, and I also want to talk about how we get somebody that's crazy expensive high on purchase price. How do we deal with that? Because we run into that a lot. And I think in guts, we can use guts, but I think we can practice this and have a little bit of a plan going into battle next time we run into this, which might be today. So how do we know when we feel like we've got a down payment that's low enough? Can somebody help me out with that answer? Look, I'm assuming a wholesale lease option deal. I'm trying to put a deal together with a homeowner. Okay. The homeowner is saying how much, how much down payment he wants.
Yeah.
How do I know when low enough is good enough? In other words, how do I know if he says 2%, is that okay? Is 3% okay? Is 5% okay? Is 20,000 okay? But 10,000 would be better, but 30 is not okay. Does anybody have any kind of policies or rules or anything to help me kind of gauge here?
Be the motivation. Comes to my mind.
Motivation's important here because this conversation is definitely going to expose the homeowner's motivation. Okay. I'm just going to say that in country boy terms right now for everybody that's in the real estate business. If you're talking to a homeowner about down payment and they're crazy high and they won't come down, 9 times out of 10, that means they're not motivated. Okay. The down payment, I want you to remember the down payment, as far as a homeowner goes, is a gauge of motivation. Okay. The higher the number they want, the lower the motivation. Okay. The gauge barely comes. Oh, he wants 20K. So the gauge barely comes up. Okay. Oh, he wants 5K. Oh, the gauge is really high. Oh, he's getting motivated. See, he's really all right. That's how I see it in my brain. I literally see a gauge. Okay. Another thing that helps me is remembering a lot of times that 1 month's payment is usually equal somewhere thereabouts to about 1% of the purchase price. Usually. Okay. Not dead on balls accurate, but in the approximate range-ish, usually around 1% of the purchase price of monthly payment, usually on a house. So isn't that interesting that if you didn't have interest, you could pay off a house at 1% per month? How many months would it take you to pay off a house? This pop quiz. I'm testing your math skills. Come on. If you had no interest,
times.
Yeah, if you had no interest, you were paying on your loan and you were paying 1% per month, how many months would it take to pay off the entire loan?
100.
100.
100. You guys, you know what? You guys are so damn smart. Oh my gosh. You know what? I said I want to sit next to you guys in class and copy off your tests. Did anybody else do that? I did that. I cheated a little bit in school. I'll be real with you. I did.
Yeah, there was a guy in front of me. My name's Sherwood. His was like Schneider, and he was
Yeah.
smarter than me.
Yeah.
So he helped me out too.
Yeah. I always picked a girl because I thought girls were smarter. So, like, I would not have picked any of you guys because I'd have been like, nah, these guys, they don't know either. I'm going to pick this Beth girl over here or whatever.
Yeah.
That's funny, but so true.
Are we talking about math test or something different?
Well, we're talking about a math test. Yes.
Okay.
Cheating. Who are you going to cheat off of in the math test? That's right. So, all right, let's get back to the example here. But so, in other words, if you were making 1% payments, it would take you 100 months to pay off a house if there were no interest. That makes sense, right? Because 1 times 100 is 100. You'd be paying it off. But how many months is a regular mortgage, a 30-year mortgage? How many months is that in 30 years? 360. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look how much interest somebody's paying. Look how many extra payments is tacked on top of that 100. Woo-wee. All right. Anyway, I don't know if you've ever thought about it like that, but I just wanted to point that out. I don't even know how that applies to the scenario, but it does. It applies like this. 1% is about what a monthly payment is. So when you're negotiating down payment, it's real helpful to remember that. So if he says something, if the homeowner says something like, I'm going to need $10,000 down, and the house is worth $350,000. He's asking for somewhere approximately close to about 3%, don't you? I mean, you can do the math real quick in your head if you think of it like this, right? I don't know if this is helpful, this math stuff, but it's helpful to me because these are little shortcuts that I do in my brain that help me on the phone when I'm talking about down payment. Because I don't know about you, but it's real easy to get it twisted on the phone with a homeowner when you're talking about down payment because they're coming at you with, hey, I need 2%. And you're like, 2%, 2%. That's milk. I got 2%, but I like the vitamin D. Whole milk. Skim milk is what I'm going for. All right. I'm getting confused. So it helps me when we start hearing percentages. It also helps me to remember when I'm negotiating down payment, sometimes to approach the homeowner that way. Because remember, the homeowner, he might not know what 2 or 3% means either. So you could say, Mr. Homeowner,
that's true.
Mr. Homeowner, if I were to give you 1 extra payment non-refundable as skin in the game, is that something that makes you feel more comfortable? No, it's not, Mr. Homeowner. If I were to give you 2 extra payments, non-refundable.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened. What happened, Perez? Oh, sorry, man.
So
All
like
right.
2,500 would be 5,000, but
Yeah.
it's how you're positioning it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of doing the math in my head per payment, meaning each payment would be like a percent. So I can easily spit it back to the homeowner. Hey, if the payment is 3,500, I do in my head real quick. What's 3 times 3,500? Well, 3 times 3 would be 9,000 plus 500 times 3 would be 10,500. So I'm able to, at least I arrive quickly somewhere near 10 grand. Okay. I arrive somewhere quickly. I don't have to be exact on the math. I know that if he's asking for I want 3% down. Okay. About 10 grand. Okay.
Gotcha.
I don't have to grab my Casio. I don't have to grab my, any of that. I don't know. You guys remember this since we're talking about school, having a watch. I used to have a watch that had a calculator on it. It was a Casio. You can still get these on Amazon. They're actually pretty cheap now. Comes with a 10-year battery. I don't know. Is that geeking out too much for you? You get one of them for $25. Not only can you do math, but you can do math for 10 damn years. All right.
Man, that's a good housewarming gift.
And you can tell time, Bo. You know, you'll never be late and you'll never be wrong on the math. So I had one of those, and teachers wouldn't let you wear them if they caught you, especially in math class. But these little shortcuts are ways to learn how to think about the down payment. But Jalen is right. Jalen put right here in the chat that we know that the down payment is low enough. We've talked the homeowner down low enough. See, we know the goal is he's saying right here, the goal is to talk the homeowner down. Now, I want to really, I'm not letting it out, stress the grave importance of what he is saying, because he is more right than any of us. All right. So if you can grasp what he's about to say, this will make you way, way successful when it comes to wholesaling lease options. Now, notice I said wholesaling lease options. Here's what he said. Shouldn't it be the goal? Shouldn't it be, if you know your end buyer will pay you more than what the seller is asking for you in down payment, so thereby you're creating a spread? That's the goal. Yeah. That's how you know you're getting the homeowner low enough. Okay. So if the homeowner is saying, I want 20 grand, you know right now that's just way too much, even for a $350,000 property, even for a $500,000 property. That's probably too much. Okay. Because we're going to have to collect money from somebody up front enough to cover that, plus give you a payday. All right. So you always want to have the down payment negotiation ready to go, because this is a make or break piece of the deal. Most of the time you will either do a deal because you can get the down payment low, or you won't. Remember, I said the down payment is like a gauge, okay, of motivation. It really is. All right. So the higher their number, the lower their motivation on the gauge. Okay. So if they have a low number, or you're able to talk them down, okay, the gauge goes up. The probability of you doing a deal is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I will submit to you today, and all the friends and students that I've helped across the last several years, this is the facts, that if you will learn to negotiate down payment, you will do deals. If you do not learn to negotiate down payment, you will not do deals. Okay, that is just facts. And so I think I took on myself the challenge of becoming great at negotiating down payment, because that's where deals are found. That's where money's made in the wholesale lease options businesses. I am a down payment flipper. I'm going to get a low down payment that I owe the seller, and I'm going to collect a high down payment. Whoa, what is that? Buy low, sell high. Yep, I'm buying low from the seller. I'm selling high to you, Mr. Man on the streets. I'm coming at you with a rent to own. How much money do you have? I want the most I can collect. I want to give the least that I can give to the seller. Okay. So we got to have a plan. We're going to talk about that more. Sorry, I really get into talking mode. You guys ought to interrupt me. Just say, hey, let's role play this shit. Shut up. All right. But we also want to talk about getting them down on high purchase price. All right. So here's my plan, everybody. And I got a plan. You want to hear my plan? Let's plan out the down payment. Let's role play it real quick and see where we are first. All right. Let's just get on the phone here with somebody. Let's role play. Who wants to be the first volunteer? Anybody want to volunteer to be a first role play person today? Let's role play down payment, because I want to get better at down payment. Anybody want to volunteer? I want you to be Mr. Joseph is going to volunteer. All right. And then who wants to be the homeowner? Joseph wants to be the homeowner. It's too late, Joseph. You
No, I
stepped in.
mean, I want to be boss. Yes. So
You
I'll
wanna do
talk to
both.
myself. Yes.
He's gonna talk to himself. Hey, that sounds exciting. I like that. Let's do that. Hey, for real, let's do it. You want to do it? Go. Ring ring.
No, no.
I role play with myself all the time. I thought it was a good idea. Okay, and so nobody wants to role play. Everybody just wants to be a spectator, except with me and Joseph. Okay, even everybody cut their camera except Perez. Perez, I a lot mad respect for you, dude. All right, so here's what we'll do. I'll be the homeowner, and Joseph, you be the caller, and you call me, and I will tell you. We will start the conversation out with me telling you that yes, this lease purchase idea sounds like this might be something that could work. Unfortunately, I'm going to need $25,000 down on my $400,000 house. Okay. All right. So ring ring. Hello, this is Justin. Yes, this lease option deal would work. I think it would be a good fit for us, but I'm gonna need some skin in the game. If you guys are gonna rent the house and want to buy it, I'm gonna need $25,000 down in order to do that.
You understand that this money is not refundable, and $25,000 is non-refundable money. It's very much.
Yes,
So-
well, I think that you guys need to have some skin in the game, because after all, I mean, I'm gonna let you live in the house with you could just move and not buy it at all, and I'm afraid that's what could happen. And then what would I do if you didn't? I'm gonna need something in case you'd change your mind.
Would you change your mind about amount? Because 25,000, it's too much. With this amount, maybe we can talk about owner financing.
Okay, not a bad pause the timeout. Not a bad maneuver there, Joseph. That was pretty cool. That was really good. Does anybody have any thoughts about that? See, he did he did something I wasn't expecting there, which is very gutsy of him, by the way. Proud of you for that. What he did was he just really was honest with me and told me that he felt like the amount was too high. He asked me if there was anything, less that we could do. And then he explained that because it's non-refundable, it's also a risk, for him to be able to put that kind of money into a deal, non-refundable. And then after that, because I insisted on the 25,000, he said, well, okay, is there a way that we could finance that 25,000? That was pretty smart. Pretty smart. That was the part that I wasn't expecting. That was really good. What does anybody think about that? Was that a good idea or what? That was a good idea, I feel like. Has anybody ever tried that? Anybody ever tried that with a homeowner? Okay, I have. Sure. Does it work? Yeah, sometimes it works. Yes, sure. You have to be careful, because sometimes they'll ask you, well, finance that 25,000. You mean like, okay, well, I could do half now and then like half in 90 days. Okay. That's where that's going. It could be something like that, or it could be, well, Mr. Homeowner, you have to be prepared for your, how you might want to suggest that this would work. Like Mr. Homeowner, what if we were to do 10K up front and then 10K in 6 months and then the rest on the 13th month or whatever, I don't know, whatever plan that you might feel comfortable with, but you kind of want to have something like that, because you might get into that conversation with the guy, right? It might go a little deeper, and you might think, financing it. He might even ask you, what were you thinking? Financing the 25,000, like how? Like, what would you do? What do you have a response? Okay, that's what I'm suggesting. You ought to have something kind of planned out a little bit in that respect. Now, here's my plan. My plan is twofold. Okay, doesn't matter what the homeowner says. I'm going to do this. So let's switch roles, Joseph, and let's I'll be the caller and you be the homeowner, okay? And I want you to want $25,000 down. We'll just keep the same story, all right?
Mhm.
So ring ring. Hey Joseph, what do you think about that lease purchase idea? Is that something you're comfortable with, or maybe not?
It's a good idea, but I need at least $25,000 down. Would it work for you?
Sorry, I choked a little bit. I was drinking water when you. That's a lot of money, Joseph. Whew.
No, I know, but I would like you to have a skin in the game, because if you just move out or destroy my property, I would lose a lot of. I need to have money to fix it.
Well, okay. I agree with you. Okay, so here's the first thing I do, I guess. I don't think about this. I guess I hadn't thought about this, but I do this. The first thing I do is I agree with Joseph. Okay. So I agree with him because I just want him to know that I think he deserves some down payment too, that we're not going to argue that point. Mr. Homeowner, I agree with you. You do deserve some down payment and some skin in the game from us. Okay. So first thing you want to kind of get on that side of the table with them. All right. Mr. Homeowner, I agree with you. And then I always say this, no matter what the guy says, I always say, Mr. Homeowner, that was more than we were expecting. Is there anything more reasonable we can talk about? Okay. Just like Joe said, Joe did this perfect. Okay. Then the second thing that I say after that, because he's always going to come back with another thing like he did. Go ahead and stick to your guns. Let's continue the role play. Stick to your guns. Yeah, Mr. Homeowner, the 25K, that's a little more than we were thinking. Is there anything more reasonable that we could talk about than that?
No, I don't think so. This is like good number. It's what I think.
I see. I see. I do agree with you that you do deserve skin in the game. Mr. Homeowner, here's the thing. You do want us to buy the property as quickly as possible, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought that was your goal, really, was to sell the property as quick as possible, and we want to buy it as quick as possible. Our home loan lender will likely require us to have closing costs and also likely another down payment for the closing table. So if we were to give you all the cash we have up front, it would really make it difficult for us to close quickly. Can I ask you, is there something maybe more reasonable we could do that would possibly help us actually buy quicker if there was a lower amount up front? Is that something that makes sense? Does that make sense, Mr. Homeowner?
Yes, it does. What amount do you have in mind?
Well, see now, and just pause the role play. Okay, I say that exact paragraph almost every call. Okay. So that's why you've heard me say it probably just almost exactly that way other times. I practice that, okay, because remember, this is important. Being able to win a deal kind of comes down to being able to negotiate the down payment. And so negotiating this down payment has become a practice for me. So I've really canned. In other words, I got this canned answer and I've really practiced it. So you can steal my answer and practice it too, because it really works. It's working on Joseph now. It doesn't work every time, but it works a lot. Okay. He's asking me now, okay, well, okay, yes, that makes sense. What number would work for you? Okay, now it's in my, now the ball's in my court again. Okay, let's get back to the role play. Joseph, if we were able to do 5K down, non-refundable. Okay, that sounded like a bad reaction there, Mr. Homeowner. Was that that's too low. Is that what you're saying?
It's very low, very low. I don't think so that it would work for me.
What is the sir? What is the lowest that you're the most comfortable with that we could make this happen today? Because I know you deserve some money, skin in the game, but we just need to find that reasonable number that works for both of us. What's the best that you could do for us, sir, there in that respect?
Tell me, and let me think about it.
You know,
5,000, it's too low.
All right. Well, you know, here's the thing. I know that no matter what number I say next, you're probably going to want more than that too, and so it's hard for me to negotiate kind of against myself here. Five's too low. Would you, would you take 7,500 then?
I would think about 20,000, maybe.
Okay, all right. So you're thinking
all-
about coming down just a wee tad little bit. See, I really want to see how much I can get Joseph down. Not going to get him down much here. These are all just real normal negotiation techniques where, you know, I'm just kind of, you know, trying to get him to name his price, because the first person really that names their price often loses. You know, I don't really want to do that. I want him, if I'm going to name my price, I want it to be kind of ridiculously low like it was. So he's saying 20,000. This is probably what's the gauge saying now? Okay. See, I've got this motivation down payment gauge. It's barely coming up off the needle. Okay. It's barely coming off the needle, and we've already exhausted the I agree with you, and it's non-refundable, and it's more than we were thinking, and sir, we need money for closing, and we've this is about our fifth or sixth attempts to get him to come down on down payment, and we're barely getting the needle off, you know, off the peg, you know, on the gauge. What am I starting to think now as a caller?
Get lost.
Get lost. Yeah. Is this the guy that I want to do business with?
No.
Am I going to make any money doing business with this guy? No.
No, not with me.
No, I'm not going to make any money doing business with Joseph. So yes. So you can see now why I say the down payment is a reflection of their motivation. See, because now I'm trying to talk this guy into a reasonable down payment, and he just won't let the needle budge off that peg. Okay. And I need to get him up to here, you know, at least before I start doing something with him, you know, like he's down here, you know, now, see, what would have been a different story, however, in the role play, if I'd have said, and again, let me go through what my steps are. One, I agree with the guy. Oh, you do deserve some skin in the game from us. Number two, this is, you know, as non-refundable money, this is more than we were expecting. Is there anything more reasonable we can talk about? Number three, sir, I agree with you, but, you know, this is more than we were expecting because, see, our lender is going to want money for closing costs and for, you know, probably another down payment as well. So if we give you all our cash up front, we won't be able to close as quickly as we could otherwise. Is there, again, something more reasonable? Since this is just a 12-month lease, can we talk about something more reasonable? If he had come down, now I got a deal, don't I? Yeah, very likely. I'm way farther closer to a deal if he comes down. I will tell you this, everybody. If you have a plan like that, just steal mine. Steal Joseph's. Okay? That was a good one. If you don't have a plan going into I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie called The Ghost in the Darkness. It's a movie with Val Kilmer, and it's got what's that guy? I don't know. He's a great actor. He was in Basic Instinct. Michael Douglas. It's got Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, and it's Ghost and the Darkness, and it's a lion hunting. It's a historical story, and they're hunting a lion, and they go out in the woods to hunt the lion that's been man-eating. Anybody ever talked to a man-eater homeowner before? A man eater. Oh, here they come. Watch out for 'em. They'll chew you up. Those homeowners are man eaters. Okay, well, they were out in the jungle, the wilderness. They're looking, and they found the man eater lion, and the guy took a shot with his rifle, and it misfired. It didn't go off. In other words, and he almost got ate by the lion. And Val Kilmer, looked like a dummy. You know?
Justin, is it just
Yeah.
hey, let's just be friends and maybe revisit it in a month or so, or what would you do with that guy? Because it seemed like you guys were negotiating, but he just wouldn't budge, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So the thing is, Michael Douglas said, "Hey, your rifle didn't fire. Has that happened before?" He's like, "No, I just borrowed this rifle." He's like, "You went into battle with an unproven rifle?" He's like, "Phew, boy, everybody's got a plan until they've been hit. You just been hit, man. You better wake up." And that happened to me in a conversation, and so I had to have a plan developed, and that's the plan I developed, because I am not going back into battle and then having a misfire in the middle of this conversation when this is the conversation that wins or loses the deals.
mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna every single time I encounter the lion in the woods, I'm raising my rifle and executing that plan. I already know before I go in the jungle what I'm going to say. I already know what I'm going to do. I do not know what that homeowner is going to say. Based on what he says, I am either going to, one, fire his ass, because I'm going to fire Joseph because I can't make money with Joseph. Or I'm going to do what Ty just suggested, and that is put him in a follow-up category, because I feel like he is kind of motivated but not really ready today. I call those bee leads. And I have a beehive full of bees that I'm hoping are going to make me honey. Okay? And that's the difference between a newbie real estate investor and an experienced real estate investor. Is I have a beehive full of buzzy little bees ready to make honey, and you ain't got no bees. That's the difference between a newbie and an experienced guy. I've got 30 or 40 deals that I'm working at all times. Like in some sense, oh, this guy, I met him, he wasn't ready to fall for it. Like he's not ready for the deal, So we're gonna go ahead and put him in the beehive and let him percolate in there. We're gonna let him in the beehive.
Love it, man.
You don't have you need 30 or 40
Percolating.
of them. Yeah. I mean, they need to get in there and buzz around and figure out how to make honey. When they figure out how to make honey, I got a little system where I'll reach out to them and they'll say, "Oh, I might be ready to make honey for you today." Okay, well, let's talk. Oh, you're not quite ready? Well, then back into the beehive you go. Incubator. So that's the difference. Ty is exactly right there, buddy. You might decide to put this guy in your beehive, or you might decide, hey, I just gonna fire him because he ain't the right stuff.
Yeah, it's good. Really good. I like what you
Now-
said about the gun too. Like you want to have a loaded gun for what you're aiming at.
Yeah, you want to practice. You want to practice the gun. Yeah, the moral of that story in the movie is to make sure before you go into a life-threatening scenario where they could eat you.
Mm-hmm.
Practice with the gun you're going to go into battle with, so you know how it works and that it does truly work. Because you don't want to get into that conversation and not have practiced what you're going to say first. You will fail. I guarantee you. Unless you're just naturally born gifted. And most of us are not.
Mm-hmm.
or you know, there's a few other people that I've found in my life. That is anybody in the room like this? Maybe you know someone like this. They could fall in a pile of shit and get up smelling like roses. Like everything just somehow works out for them. Isn't it strange? That's not me, okay? I've never fell in a pile of shit and got up smelling like roses, but I have seen people do it. All right. So I'm not that guy, but I have to make these judgment calls on every lead. And I will say this as well, that this is a part where I think new people fail is they are afraid to make judgment calls. Well, this guy said yes to my text message, but then, later he said he needed 25,000 down. I'm just going to follow up with him. Maybe he'll change his heart. No, he ain't changing nothing. See that dude there, most likely he's just a bad lead, like you really have to learn to, I know some of us don't like to break up with leads, but you got to break up with the lead. You got to let him go. You got to let a bad one go, and you got to put a percolating one. You got to put it in the beehive, and then a good one. You're going to move forward with today, right? A lot of them you're not going to move forward with today, so you're going to have to make a judgment call. Do I throw this one away or do I put it in my beehive? And you don't want 300, 400 people in your beehive. You just want maybe a few dozen, okay? Because it gets expensive to have a big beehive. How does it get expensive? Because follow up. How are you going to follow up with them? You're going to spend a lot of time calling 300, 400 people you're following up with. A lot of these need to be thrown away. All right. You need to be able to narrow it down to, the ones that really are kind of teetering on the fence. Who's going to decide that? It's going to be you. Okay. You're going to ask the questions. They're going to give you the answers, and then you're going to make a judgment call. And what I found is a lot of us are not really prepared to make that judgment call. We don't want to part with it because we want it to work out so desperately bad. We're like, oh, we hope this one could maybe someday turn into something with an asteroid, because the chances are greater that you're going to hit with an asteroid than for this cat to come back around and drop his price like that. Okay. All right. So throw a bad one away. That's my point. There will be more leads. There's always more homeowners. All right. I'll give you the statistics right now in the southern 25 states. In other words, if you take Interstate 70 going right across from east to west and you go south of Interstate 70, there's only about 25,000 homes for sale right now, for sale by owner. There's only about 25,000. How many did you reach out to today?
Wow.
Yeah. And the number's going up, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because, making money on your house now is not what it was a year ago. And everybody's figuring that out, So you got to definitely have a plan when you're going in here. And I always
That
work
could be
that.
good. Yeah, that
ahead.
could be good too for those people thinking it's worth more to be in the beehive because it seems like they haven't caught up yet. Also, right?
Yeah.
They think it's
Yeah.
still really, really good, but yet the market's
Right.
changed, and they're still thinking last year's thinking.
Exactly. You got to have a beehive. How many people in here have a beehive? Has anybody got a beehive besides me? Is this something that you need to start? I like to call it a beehive because it makes it a special thing. These are B leads. They're not A leads. They're B leads. They're not C leads. Those are trash. So a B lead goes in a beehive. That's the way I see it. And, that makes sense because bees, they buzz around and they might make honey. I don't know. Maybe some of them don't. I don't know. But when you look, there's honey sometimes. That's nice. So
There's some worker bees too, right? Some are just workers.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably a queen in there too somewhere. Who knows? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I do know that these are not the A leads, but these are not trash either. And I've got to make a judgment call. So if you've got 300 leads sitting in your inbox, which some of you do, you need to start interacting with them in some way that you can determine whether or not real quickly you're going to throw them away or keep them in a beehive. Or maybe this one is ready to work with today. This is an A lead. So you've got to make the judgment call. And I think you need to wake up every day and sit in the seat of judgment. All right. Let me say, I got one of these. Anybody seen one of these before? One of these. This is the Judge Judy gavel. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like from a court of law, Has anybody seen a gavel in real life before? Held one in your hand? Yeah, that's what it's like.
They usually
And
wear black too, like a referee.
yeah, yeah, you could wear black. You could go all out with this, but you got to slam the gavel on these leads, y'all. You've got to
Good.
make a judgment call one way or another. And don't be afraid. Hey, I'm going to mess up sometimes, because you will. Okay. You will mess up sometimes, and you will throw away a good lead every now and then. And you will mess up, and you will keep a bad lead every now and then too. All right. But your job is to be the decision maker, right? You have to decide this one's a bad one, throw it away. Because if you keep it around, it's going to clutter up your filter. It's going to clutter up your pipeline on REI Reply or your desk, or it's going to clutter up your mind. You're going to start losing track of good leads because you're trying to track these crap leads and all of this. So part of this business is staying organized and firing bad leads. Fire bad leads. Get rid of them. I run into people's REI Replies. They let me in and say, hey, take a look at this. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, listen, you need to throw away about 275 of these leads and just start over, because there's no way you're going to go back and catch up. And you know what? There's 25,000 homeowners that are selling in the states that I fish in. That means there's probably at least another 25,000 in the other 25 states. So there's plenty of leads. We can get more leads. We can get fresh leads. We can get better leads. These are old, crusty, dead, stale, dry, tumbleweed leads. They're blowing around. Get them off the desk. Get them out of here. Get them in the trash. Burn them up. Throw them away. Do yourself a favor. All right. If you're not going to call them, throw them away. All right. That's a good rule. Just some advice. So let's get back to the talk here about down payment. Does anybody have any questions about down payment right now? Any thoughts on what we've been talking about? Hopefully you got something out of today with down payment. I do believe it's probably the make or break conversation for you if you're trying to get lease option or creative deals under contract. Can I say something also about marketing, since we were talking about that just a moment ago? Been testing out a little bit on an account or two, an outbound message on I say an account or two, I mean REI Reply, an outbound message that just simply says, hey, saw your property on Zillow, property address. Would you consider taking your purchase price as a small down payment and the rest in installments until we can finance you out? That is a creative finance message. And you know what? People say yes to that. All right. People are saying yes to that message. So if you want to switch up your messaging, it doesn't always have to be lease options. Would you lease the property to us? You could ask a more creative finance question, or you could switch things up a little bit, maybe in another way. Maybe you could reach out to pre-foreclosures and you could talk about maybe taking over the house payment, catching up the arrears and taking over the house payment, or maybe you could do something different. Okay. So marketing, getting leads right now, I'll just be as crystal clear as I can. Easy. Okay. Get leads. Easy. If you're not getting leads, easy. Okay. Cheap. All right. Super affordable. Okay. People want to sell right now. People can't sell right now. So they're open to creative opportunities. When you call them, you got to be ready to do this down payment talk. Okay. Anybody got any questions or anything? Any comments? Any thoughts about down payment or anything else we've been talking about? Anybody? All right. Nobody.
Really good.
Nobody has a
Really
thought.
good, Justin.
Well, I appreciate that, Ty. You're a sweet guy. Love you, dude. Love you, Perez and Tim John and Jalen and Joseph. Everybody that's here. Thank you for being here. I was going to talk about purchase price, coming down on purchase price, getting them to come down, and I don't think I have time really to get into that, but
Okay.
but we will get into that another time. This is Role Play Wednesday. We role play a little bit. We talk about sales a lot. We talk about the conversation a lot, and hopefully you got something out of it today. And you guys want to role play the down payment one more time? Let's do that before we leave. Let's do it. Anybody else want to volunteer to be a participant in a down payment role play? Because I really firmly believe that if you can master this conversation, you can go get you a deal today. If you really want one, you can go get you a deal today. But you got to know you got to go into battle with a plan. You can't just go in there like, oh, well, he wasn't low enough. Okay, well, did you say anything to him about it? Okay, get the plan. So watch this video again if you need to. Take notes. I've got a session going on later on tonight. I've got some other things you could plug into if you want to as well. But let's role play this one more time. Anybody else with anything else before we do that? Okay. All right. Good answer, Jalen, about that, man. You're right. You're right about that in the chat. Just got to create a spread, dude. Great answer. All right, let's role play the down payment on the way out the door. Let's do that because that's probably what we're going to have to do today with a homeowner. All right. So who wants to volunteer? I need 2 volunteers. We're just going to role play out the door. That's it. 2 volunteers.
I'll go. Sure.
Ty, my man, can volunteer. I appreciate you, dude. Anybody else? Joe, you want to just volunteer with Ty and knock out a role play real quick?
Yes.
Let's do it. Who's going to be the homeowner?
Ty choice.
Ty's choice. Ty, are you the call?
I'll be a caller. Why not?
Yeah, he's going to be the investor. He's got the balls to make the calls. I like it. I don't know what that look on your face was, brother, but that was great. All right, man. Let's go. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Sale. I was wondering. Oh, you got my text message? I sent you a text about. I'm the one that was texting you. Yeah, looking to purchase a house, maybe rent for 1 or 2 years, and then buy it for a price.
Practically cannot hear anything.
Oh, you can't?
You're real light sounding.
Oh, is it? My bad.
It's very low sound.
Let me see. Oh, okay. I don't know what to do. Hello?
There you go.
Now I-
Boom. There it is.
Oh, okay. That was my Bluetooth. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I'm still working on my technical skills. Yeah, I was just saying I was the one that texted you about.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's going on? We'd like to do some creative and but you said you wanted a big down payment.
Yes, 25,000 I think would be good enough.
25. You know, Joseph, we're gonna purchase this house, and we got within the time frame between that we negotiate, and when we purchase it, we're gonna have to come up with closing costs and everything else.
That's right.
25,000's a lot. Maybe
It is.
can you do maybe like closer to 5,000 down?
No, 5,000 it would not be acceptable because I think you have to have skin in the game because you can move out or do whatever with the house. I need money to fix it up. I had this experience already.
Okay, yeah, Joseph. Well,
if we take care of all that, trash and toilets and the way we set the contract up is you won't have to worry about any of those things. So how about, can we meet in the middle, like, 7,500? That way, and we'll take care of all those things, your concerns for you.
Yeah, it's not in the middle. So
Yeah, see, he's not doing very good with this. He's not getting the peg. He's not, Ooh, yeah.
You're a hard negotiator.
Yeah, he is.
I really respect you for that. You're a smart guy, and it seems like you know what you want. And 20, but I don't know if 25,000 is gonna work. What's
It's a tough one.
is there a
How
better
about-
number?
how
We can
about
negotiate?
24,900? Would it work for you?
He came down $100. Is that good?
Yeah, I think we should just call it a day. I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna be able to work out anything today, but
Fire that guy.
is it okay if I follow up with you maybe in a few weeks or a month or so?
Yeah, please do it. I have no problem.
Joseph. Yeah, I appreciate it, and
Yeah.
good luck with that house and with the selling of your home. It's good
Right.
talking to you.
Right. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Have
Yeah.
a good day.
Are you really gonna call him back in a month?
Probably text them, and see, send them. I like, how Claude sends them something. I could send them a flyer that says, you want too much money or something. Too much money down.
You want too much money? That's awesome. Yeah,
I don't know.
I like
Just
that idea.
Or email or, a message that says, hey, I was thinking about you and wondering if you still had the house available, something, right? But yeah, that would, I don't know if I'd keep it as a beehive or not.
I would not,
Yeah.
unless there was something else in the conversation that he said that we weren't privy to here. That
Yeah,
maybe
like a lake
led,
house or something.
yeah, or something that maybe led you to believe that there was some motivation there that beyond the down payment. In other words, if he was like, oh well, I really really bad need to move, but man, I just put it on Zillow Friday, and I'm definitely going to do something. So by the end of this month, but I can't take an offer like that right now because I want to see at least the first 2 weekends if I get any cash offers at all. Okay. Now
Mhm.
I would follow up with that guy. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about the whole owner finance too, but I was just trying to figure out another way to do it. But it sounds like owner finance would work too, but I'd want to have a buyer in my pocket or something, I guess. That is a lot down. So
Well, it is a lot down. I would fire that guy. I
Okay.
am probably guilty of firing more people than deserve to be fired. Like I get real fire happy.
yeah.
Like Beavis and Butthead. Fire, fire, fire. Like I'm always
You're fired.
like I'm
the
ready to
whole time.
fire like I literally have days where I literally fired everybody's ass all day. That's all I did.
Bring down the hammer. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Ain't nothing feel like being the boss more than firing everybody's ass all day. You could put that on one of those success posters right there over like some kind of inspirational picture. Nothing feels more like being the boss than firing everybody's ass all day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, love you guys. I'll see you again next time. I got a live stream tonight. If you want to jump on, I'll see you then. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Holla at